On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were visiting Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, in an open car. As they passed by, a conspirator named Gavrilo Princip, member of the Serbian terrorist group called Black Hand, fired twice into the car, killing both instantly. Princip, undoubtedly, was unaware of the fact that he'd become the catalyst to the chain reaction responsible in leading the beginning of the First World War, only 1 month later. His attack spread fear through Europe and an imperative sense of distrust. In fact, European powers jealously guarded their status and competed for positions in many areas. Consequently, European countries began forming alliances and treaties pledging to defend and protect one another. 1 month later, Austria declared war on Serbia. In the war, 38 million men left their homes to fight their country, although, what about the other millions of wives, sisters, daughters, and mothers they left behind? World War I arose the mobilization of women around the globe. They took over jobs and kept the national economy stable. They joined the civilian workforce and began participating in war industries by manufacturing weapons and providing supplies. These women, between the spans of 18 and 29 years of age, were called munitionists, or canneries, because of the yellow skin which came from working with toxic chemicals. Others were more first-handedly involved and served as nurses in the military. In Great Britain, women served as nurses in Queen Alexandra's Imperial Military Nursing Service and in the Voluntary Aid Detachment. A reporter from Hendon, called Dorothy Lawrence, attempted to volunteer in the VAD, but was rejected and arrested when she tried to enter the war zone as a freelance war correspondent. She later came to the conclusion that only in disguise could she get the story she wanted to write. After her service in the war, she moved to Canterbury and wrote an account of her experiences in the war, which she named Sapper Dorothy Lawrence, the only English woman soldier. When food shortages were threatening Britain, members of the Women's Land Army took matters into their own hands and grew out food for their nation. In Australia, 2,139 nurses served during World War I, and their contributions were more important than initially expected, resulting in more respect for women in medical professions. Women took initiative over the politics involved in the war, and in December 1914, in Canada, Julia Grace Wales published the Canada Plan, a proposal to set up a mediating conference consisting of intellectuals from neutral nations who would work to find a suitable solution for the First World War. Because of the support that women had shown from the beginning of the war, people began to see their value. In fact, in many countries, including Britain, Germany, and the United States, women's support for the war helped them finally win the right to vote after decades of struggle. In the United States, the first American women enlisted into the regular armed forces were 13,000 women admitted into active duty in the Navy. They served stateside in jobs and received the same benefits and responsibilities as men, including identical pay. The U.S. Army trained 233 female bilingual telephone operators who were in charge of working at switchboards near the front in France, and sent another 50 stenographers directly to France to work with the Quartermaster Corps. Instead, the U.S. Marine Corps enlisted 305 female Marine reservists to take responsibility of the men's positions, so they would be free to fight by filling in positions such as clerks and telephone operators on the home front. In Italy, the Central Bureau of News was established by Countess Lina Cavazza in Bologna in May 1915, and took 25,000 women into employment. These women were responsible to send messages from the wounded soldiers to their families. Women were essential in the work of clearing the roads of snow and in carrying materials and food to the soldiers, while also transporting concrete and wire for the trenches. The thousands of ordinary widows and grieving mothers were honored in national mourning organized by the patriotic Associazione Madri e Vedove dei Caduti in Guerra, Association of Mothers and Widows of the Fallen, founded in Milan in 1917. Italian women used the distraction of the war to try to achieve full citizenship, such as the Pro-Suffrage Committee of Milan, the most successful of all organizations. Now, to the question we asked before, what about the other millions of wives, sisters, daughters, and mothers the soldiers left behind? Personally, it seems as if women in these different countries were almost collaborating, even though the intent of the war was the exact opposite. In a period of chaos and violence, women built communities founded on solidarity, pride, and confidence on one's nationality and the values it holds. Women challenged stubborn, sexist beliefs, knocked down prejudice through their ambition, and began to be recognized as the perfect prototype for social intervention for the years and wars to come.